Very good morning to all of you, my friends. Welcome back. So, I hope you guys are doing good. So, in the previous session, we discussed few questions on standard costing relating to material and labor variance. I hope you guys are thorough with the concepts, and there was a homework wherein you guys have to calculate, I think, the actual quantity. That was the key. So, waiting for the answers. Good morning, everyone. So Mustafa, I tried most of the ways, but I didn't get the answer. Prajapati, Namrata, good morning. I'm waiting for your answers, guys. There was a homework. Good morning, Shriji Garg. So what's the answer, guys? Okay, so I've got answer from Harsh Mishra, and the answer is correct. Very good, Harsh. Very good, Harsh. Your answer is correct. Okay. So Linga was not being able to solve. Nitya. Okay. Nitya, the answer is incorrect. Shamli Sharma, I think last time only you posted the answer, right? And it was correct. Very good, Shamli. The answer is correct. Jash Agrawal, good morning, dear. Harivansh Kumar, the answer is incorrect, Harivansh. Jaya Manochan, good morning. Where's the answer? Hina Kumar. Okay, so Hina also didn't get the answer. Adil Khan, very good. The answer is correct. So many were able to solve the question. So, Namrata sir, given information is not sufficient for calculating the figure. Rabari, I tried, couldn't get the answer. The only thing I get is revised standard quantity for the quantity given is revised standard quantity only, dear. Since the output is not given, Rabari, the output is same. The answer is incorrect, Mustafa. Good morning, Geeta. Khushbu Kumari, the answer is incorrect. Harivansh Kumar, this answer is also incorrect. Yes, Jaya. I think I was like in two minds. I do remember that you posted the answer and it was correct, but it slipped from my mind. Anyways, let's start with the solution now. One second, few more students posted the answer. No worries. That's okay, Harsh. Yes, you can attend the session, Khushi. I'll be discussing the new concepts. Minu, it is incorrect. Good morning, dear. So let's start with the solution now. When talking about the first part, the material price variance for A was 1200 Edwards. So here the actual price is missing. So this will be standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. So standard price was 3. Actual price we don't have. My actual quantity was 600. This is equals to minus 1200. So 3 minus actual price is equals to minus 2. So actual price will be what? 5. So this figure we have got, that is 5 now. And this will be 3,000. Now here nothing is given apart from material mix variance, and there are no other ways, so we have to use material mix variance only now to calculate this figure. No material cost or nothing is given in the question. So now this much, so I think most of the students were able to calculate. Now let's start with this part. Let's assume that the actual quantity of B is X. Let's assume that the actual quantity of B is X. So my total input will be how much? 600 plus X. Let's assume my actual quantity of B is X. So my total input will be how much? 600 plus X. This should be in the ratio of 500 is to 500, or we can say 1 is to 1. So let's start with material mix variance. It is equals to standard mix. That should be the standard mix minus actual quantity into standard price. So for A, 600 plus X should be in the ratio of 1 is to 1. So 600X, 600 plus X, 600 plus X should be in the ratio of 1 is to 1, that is 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So this is my standard mix for A and B. 600 plus X, if it is 1000, it should be in the ratio of 500 is to 500. If it is 2000, it should be in the ratio of 1 is to 1, that is 1000 and 1000. So since the actual input is not given, so it is X, so this should be in the ratio of 1 is to 1 minus, this is what? Minus actual quantity. Actual quantity is how much? 600 and X. Multiplied by standard price, that is 3 and 2. The figures what we'll be getting should be equal to how much? 50 favorable. The total of these two should be 50 favorable. Standard mix minus actual quantity into standard price. This is for A. For B also, standard mix minus actual quantity into standard price. This is for B. It should be equal to 50 favorable. So let's simplify it. 300 plus 0.5x minus 600 into 3 plus 300 plus 0.5x minus x into 2. This should be equal to 50 favorable. So this will be 0.5x minus 300 into 3 plus 300 minus 0.5x into 2 should be equal to 50. So this will be 1.5x minus 900 plus 600 minus x should be equal to 50. So 1.5x minus x, so this will be 0.5x minus 300 should be equal to 50. So this will be 0.5x is equals to 350. So the value of x will be 700. So this value comes to 700. This will be 2100. And this will be 1300. And this will be 5100. The question was simple. The point is the key was the material mix variance. So I hope this part is clear to all. Rabari, please recheck the calculation. Very good, Pooja. Admin sir, please share the WhatsApp link of the group. So anyone having any doubts? I appreciate your efforts that many students tried solving this question. But anyways, that's okay. This requires practice and thorough understanding of the concepts. This is the only way to solve Harsh Mishra. So I hope this part is clear to all. Anyone having any doubts or queries? Yes, my friends, what went wrong? Few were able to solve the question and few were not being able to solve, so that's okay. Anyone with any doubts or queries? Anyone having any other opinion on the solution? Yes, Meenu, Linga, Shriji, you were able to solve the question? I request you guys to copy the solution. I hope this solution is logical. What went wrong with you guys? No worries, that's okay. I request you guys to copy the solution, please. Give me some time. I need to discuss first of all the fixed and variable overhead variances. So if the time permits, then I'll surely try to. Hina. Because we have spent 3 sessions on material and labor only. So today is the last session for standard costing. Where is AC? It's actual quantity or actual price, Khushi? Material price variance was only for A, not for B. That's why. Meenu. Just give me one more day time, Mustafa. Let me complete the explanation of the other concepts also, please. No, you can't. Everything will be given in the question. The point is you have to figure out that from where you will get the solution. Mustafa, just give me one more day time, please. I've not yet received the mail, so let me check with the concerned person. I'll surely get back to you. Don't worry. So now enough of discussion on material and labor. Now let's start. Let's move towards the next part of the chapter, wherein, as I discussed earlier also, we need to investigate each and every cost department. So we are done with material, we are done with labor. So now let's move towards overhead. And with this, we will start with fixed overheads first. Hello, Arun. Good morning. So let's start with fixed overheads. Now, very important, guys. Whenever you find a question on fixed overheads, one second. Whenever you find the question on fixed overheads, try to formulate the question in this table. See, we discussed the master chart for material and labor. That is budget, actual. If budgeted output, actual output is same, we can start with the solution. If not same, we have to prepare revised standard. So this was the master chart in material and labor. Now let's move towards overhead. So whenever you find a question on overhead, you have to convert it in this format: budget and actual. Let's say days are given 25 and 26. Budgeted days are given 25 and 26. Let's say hours are given 30,000 hours and 33,000 hours. Units are also given 30,000, 32,500. Fixed overheads are given 45,000 and 50,000. This much information will always be given in the question. So now let's start with the calculation of variance. The first one is fixed overhead cost variance. First one is fixed overhead cost variance. Now, when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, it talks about the under or over absorption of overheads. That is, overhead absorbs minus actual overhead. So, when talking about the fixed overhead cost variance, it talks about under oblique over absorption of overheads. Under or over absorption of overheads. Now, how we calculate under or over absorption of overhead? Overhead absorbed minus actual overhead. So, 45,000 are my overheads. My budgeted overheads are 45,000. On how many units? 30,000 units. So, on 30,500 units, how much should be my absorbed overheads? $45,000 are my overheads on 30,000 units. So on 30,500 units, how much should be my overheads? Minus, this is what we call it as absorbed overheads. Minus actual overheads are how much? 50,000. This is what my actual overhead. So absorbed overheads minus actual overhead 1250 adverse. So again, I repeat, when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, it talks about the under or over absorption of overheads. So herein it is absorbed overheads minus actual overheads. When talking about absorbed overheads, 45,000 are the overheads on 30,000 units. 45,000 are my overheads on 30,000 units. That is as per the budget. So if we multiply it by 32,500, how much should be my overheads? 48,750 minus 50,000. So we will get 1250. Can you guys tell me it is under absorption or over absorption of overhead? Waiting for your answers. You must have studied this in overheads. So, waiting for your opinion that it is under absorption or over absorption. Very good, Gunjan. Very good, Pooja Byalal. Jaya Manuchan, please refresh your concepts. Pooja, please refresh. Pooja B, please refresh your concepts. Your answers are incorrect, Jaya and Pooja. Adil, incorrect. I think you guys are not thorough with the concepts. Again, Diya Jain, it is incorrect. Rabari, it is incorrect. I think you need to revise. Meenu, correct. Shriji, correct. Mustafa, correct. Incorrect, Arun. So do revise what is under and over absorption of overhead. So when the absorbed overheads are less, herein my absorbed overheads are 48,750 and actual overheads are 50,000. So since absorbed overheads are less, then it is under absorption. What is under absorption? If just think from absorbed overhead. So if absorbed overheads are less than actual overhead, it is under absorption. If absorbed overheads are more, it is over absorption. So do make a note of it. What is under or over absorption? If absorbed overheads are less, under absorption. Absorbed overheads are more, it is over absorption. Geeta, incorrect. Shamli, correct. Harsh Mishra, correct. Very good, everyone. So when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, simply, very simple, keep the thing simple, under or over absorption mein nahi jate hain. This is what the concept is. So when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, 45,000 overheads hona chahiye 30,000 units pe. So for 32,500, how much? 48,750 minus 50,000. So this will be 1250 adverse. So this should be 48,750. It should be 48,750, but my actual overheads are 50,000. So 1250 extra. So that this will be adverse. Now next is fixed overhead expenditure variance. Fixed overhead expenditure variance. Straight away, fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production. So straight away, 45,000 should be my overheads. And my actual overheads are how much? 50,000. So how much extra? 5,000 extra. So this will be adverse. Overheads कितने होने चाहिए थे? 45,000. How much are my actual overheads? 50,000. So how much extra? 5,000. So adverse. Now next is fixed overhead volume variance. When talking about volume, it talks about units. When talking about volume, it talks about units. Hina, you need to recheck your concepts. So when talking about volume variance, it talks about units. That how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 30,000. we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we did fabulous job. And instead of 30,000, we manufactured 32,500 units. So it's a very good sign for the company. So we were supposed to manufacture how many units? Actually, we manufactured how many units? Herein, negative doesn't mean adverse or positive doesn't mean favorable. You have to use your brains. जैसे मटेरियल और लेबर में क्या था, बेसिकली स्ट्रेट अवे इफ द फिगर इज नेगेटिव इट वाज एडवर्स, if the figure was positive it was favorable. So this doesn't apply to this fixed and variable overhead. So do pay attention whatever I am discussing. So we were supposed to manufacture how many units? 30,000 units. Actually we manufactured how many units? 32,500 units. It means it's a good sign for the company. So how many units extra we manufactured? 2,500 units extra we manufactured. Now from here and onwards, we will be taking the budgeted rate as we were doing in material and labor. Since the difference between budget and actual is already covered in this expenditure variance, so we'll be taking the budgeted rate now. Now since this is what? My units. So we will be taking the budgeted rate per unit. We will not be taking the budgeted rate per hour or per day. We will be taking the budgeted rate per unit, since these are what? My units. So I repeat again, how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 30,000 units. The units actually manufactured were how much? 32,500 units. So how many extra units we manufactured? 2,500 units. Into the budgeted rate per unit, that is 45,000 divided by 30,000, that is 1.5 per unit. How come I got this rate? 45,000 rupees divided by 30,000 units. So this will be the rate per unit. 3750 favorable. This is what? Favorable. Why it is favorable? Very important. Do pay attention. We were supposed to manufacture how many units? 30,000 units. Actually, we manufactured how many units? 32,500 units. So we did a fabulous job and we manufactured 2,500 units extra into the rate per unit 1.5. So this will be 3750 favorable. Now next is fixed overhead calendar variance. So herein when talking about volume, it talks about units. When talking about calendar, it talks about days. When talking about calendar, it talks about days. Now, how many days the worker was supposed to work? 25 days. So in a month, my staff was supposed to work for 25 days. But actually, they reported to work for 26 days. Forget about efficiency, inefficiency, that whether they worked efficiently or inefficiently. That we will be considering separately. But from the days perspective, they were supposed to work for 25 days only in a month. But they did work for 26 days. 1 day extra they worked. It's a good sign for the company. So this variance will be favorable. I repeat again, forget about efficiency or inefficiency, that whether they worked efficiently or inefficiently. The point is, my workers were supposed to be present for 25 days in a month, but they were present for 26 days in a month. 1 day extra they worked. So it's a good sign for the company. So that's why the variance will be favorable. So they were supposed to work for 25 days. They actually worked for 26 days. How many days extra? 1 day extra. So see, this was what? 2,500 units. So we have applied the rate per unit. Herein, it is 1 day. So we will be applying the rate what? Per unit, per hour or per day? Yes, friends? Since it is days, so we'll be calculating the rate per day, per hour or per unit. Meenu, please check yaar. How can it be this? Very good, Shamli. Very good, everyone. Very good, everyone. Khushi Garg, it is incorrect. It will be per day only. Since it is days, see here it was units. So we applied the rate per unit. Since it is days, so we'll be applying the rate per day. So rate per day will be how much? 45,000 divided by 25. So this will be 1800 per day. So this will be 1800 favorable. How come I got this rate 1800 per day? 45,000. So we are done with volume. The volume was increased because of the number of days we worked. Now let's move towards the next part. That is fixed overheads capacity variance. Fixed overhead capacity variance. This is the cost per day, Meenu. Very good, Mr. Sampath. So now, when talking about capacity, it talks about what? Hours. When talking about capacity variance, it talks about what? Hours. That is how many hours we were supposed to work, the hours we actually worked. Yes, it's the fixed overhead cost per day. One second, guys. Let me check if there are any queries till now. Gunjan, it was per day. Very good, Jaya. Pooja Bealal, it was per day. Yes, Meenu. Now, when talking about capacity variance, it talks about hours. That is the number of hours which we were supposed to work and the hours we actually worked. Now, herein, there is one twist. See, there were 30,000 hours we were supposed to work in 25 days. In 25 days, how many hours we were supposed to work? 30,000 hours. But actually, we worked for 26 days and the actual hours were 33,000. So here is the number of days are different. So we can't directly calculate the capacity variance. We have to give the impact of the days also. We have to give the impact of the days also. we have to give the impact of the days also. So herein very important, I'm just writing this explanation for your better understanding because many students finds difficulty in this capacity variance. So writing my explanation also, see, no need to write in exam. This is just for your understanding and for to remember the concept. I'm writing this. So we have the capacity to work for how many hours? 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, how much was our capacity? We have the capacity to work for, see, 30,000 hours are in 25 days. So in 26 days, how much? We have the capacity to work for 31,000. The total will be 31,200. 31,200 hours in 26 days. So our capacity was how much? In 26 days, my capacity was for 31,200 hours in 26 days. However, we work for how many hours? 33,000 hours in 26 days. So we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. However, we work for 33,000 hours in these 26 days. That is, we worked above our capacity by how many hours? 1,800 hours. I repeat again, guys. My capacity was to work for how many hours in 26 days? 31,200 hours in 26 days. But in these 26 days, I worked for 33,000 hours. That is, I worked above my capacity. My capacity was 31,200, but I worked for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours above my capacity. So it's a very good sign for the company. Again, forget about that they work efficiently or inefficiently. That is secondary. But when talking about my capacity, it was 31,200 hours, but I actually worked for 33,000 hours, 1,800 hours above my capacity. Therefore, my variance will be how much? 1,800 hours into, see, herein there were units, so we applied the rate per unit. Herein it was day, so we applied the rate per day. Herein it is hours, so we will be applying the rate per hour. So 45,000 hours divided by 30,000 hours, so the rate will be 1.5 per hour. So this will be 2,700 favorable. The important part in this capacity variance is that this variance is favorable. So just to clear this point that why it is favorable, I have given this explanation. So very important, guys, when talking about capacity variance, it talks about hours. Suppose in this question, the number of days are 25 and 25. The budgeted and actual days are same. So straight away, we can calculate that my capacity was 30,000 hours. I work for 33,000 hours, 3,000 hours extra into the rate per hour. But since the number of days are different, so that's why we have given the impact of the days also, and accordingly we have calculated this variance. If you guys have any doubts why it is favorable, see herein why it is favorable, that is very important. Why it is favorable, this is very important. And why this is favorable, this is very important. So herein in fixed overhead, you have to figure out that why it is favorable. So for this, you should be thorough with the concept. ऐसा नहीं है कि माइनस आया तो एडवर्स कर दो, प्लस आया तो फेवरेबल कर दो. This doesn't apply in fixed overhead variances. Again, the formulas are there, and you can apply formula, but again, understanding the concept is better and way much better than learning the formulas. Very good, everyone. Yes, straight away you can calculate if the days are same. So I hope this part is clear to all. Anyone having any doubts? Then if anyone want to speak to me, you can raise hand. I'm here to speak to you also. Anyone, if not thorough with the concept, you can unmute yourself. Yes, Tanu, my capacity was for 31,200 hours, but I actually worked for 33,000 hours. It means I worked above my capacity. मेरी capacity से ज़्यादा काम किया. That's why this variance is favorable. Anyone else with any doubts or queries in this part? Yes, waiting for your queries. So we are done with fixed overhead cost variance. It talks about under or over absorption of overhead. 45,000 overheads for 32,000 units. So for 32,500, how much? 48,750 minus my actual overhead 50,000. So this is 1250 adverse. कि खर्चा 48,750 होना चाहिए था, हुआ 50,000. No need to calculate budgeted hours or standard hours. Rabari, just follow this concept. This is more than sufficient. Yes, there are many ways to solve the question. You can calculate standard hours also. But I mean, you can just go with this way also. So now let's proceed further. The last but not the least, fixed overhead efficiency variance, that whether we worked efficiently or inefficiently. One second. I'll give you the time to copy, Arun. Wait for some time. Now, when I'm writing the solution or when I'm explaining something, no need to write. Just do pay attention. I'll give you time to copy everything. Fixed overhead efficiency variance. Fixed overhead efficiency variance. Now see, very important, guys, that it talks about that whether we worked efficiently or not. Let me complete this explanation, Minu. So whether we worked efficiently or not, efficiency means what? That काम कितने hours में होना चाहिए था और कितने hours में हुआ. This is what we call it as efficiency. That is that my workers worked efficiently or not. So as per the target given, 30,000 units should be manufactured in how many hours? 30,000 hours. As per the target set by the company, as per the budget set by the company, 30,000 units should be done in how many hours? 30,000 hours. So it means one unit should take how many hours? 1 hour. 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. So one unit, how many hours? One unit should be manufactured in 1 hour. My actual production was how much? 32,500 units. It means the work was supposed to be completed in how many hours? 32,500 hours. So as per the target set, 32,500 units should be manufactured in 32,500 hours only. But to complete these 32,500 units, How many hours we actually took? 33,000 hours. So the work was supposed to be completed in 32,500 hours, but we actually consumed 33,000 hours. So 500 hours extra is my inefficiency into the rate per hour, 1.5 per hour. So this will be 750 hours. 500 hours is what? My inefficiency. That is जो काम 30 to 500 hours में होना चाहिए था. We actually consumed how many hours? 33,000 hours. 500 hours is my inefficiency. That is, it is not good for the company. So that's why this variance will be what? Adverse. So this is all what about the fixed overhead variances. I'll give you time to copy. And again, apart from copying whatever is written over the board, again, do write your notes also. That how I calculated fixed overhead variances. That is 45,000 rupees for 30,000 units. So for 30 to 500, how much should be my absorbed overheads? This much. And actual overhead. Now, very important when talking about volume also, you can write in your language just like this, that the company was supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but they actually manufactured 30 to 500 units. So 2,500 units extra they manufactured. So it's a good sign for the company. So that's why this variance is favorable. So do write this in your notebook as for better understanding, because exams time में क्या होगा या revision के time क्या होगा कि that will be a major problem, that why this variance is adverse and why this variance is favorable. So simply write the explanation that the company did a fabulous job and they manufacture 2,500 units extra. So that's why this variance will be favorable. So do write in your notebook for your understanding. Again, what you will write, you will remember it forever. So do write all the explanation. See, I have written the explanation of capacity, but write the explanation of calendar, volume, and efficiency in your notebook. Again, don't think that okay, मुझे सब याद रहेगा. I assure you, कुछ भी याद नहीं रहेगा. So the point is, write what you have learned from these variances. Important part is why it is favorable, why it is adverse. That is the key. So giving you 5 to 7 minutes time to copy everything, prepare your notes. I'll be back after 5 minutes with the next part. तनु, the name itself says efficiently, that क्या हमने efficiently काम किया या नहीं किया. जो काम 30 to 500 hours में होना चाहिए था, वही काम हमने कितने hours में किया? 33,000 hours. So 500 hours is my inefficiency. That's why this variance will be adverse, Tanu. Do make a note of it, Tanu, in your language, in your notebook, giving you 5 to 7 minutes time. I have already given the explanation of capacity. You need to write calendar, volume, and efficiency. Yes, 500 extra hours is fine. 500 is hours is what? My inefficiency. This is what? My inefficiency. Since it is hours and we have to show all the variance in monetary terms, so hours cannot be, okay, 500 hours is my inefficiency, but we have to explain all the variance or present all the variance in a monetary way. So that's why we have multiplied it with the rate per hour. Since it is hours, so we have applied the rate per hour. Herein it was days, so we have used the rate per day. Herein it was units, so we have applied the rate per unit. One of the students raised query. So herein see, herein there are two parts, that is expenditure and volume. So fixed overhead expenditure plus volume is cost. That is 5,000 adverse and 3,750 favorable. So net it will be 1,250 adverse. So fixed overhead expenditure plus volume will be cost. And calendar capacity and efficiency will be what? Volume. You can check the total: 1800 favorable, 2700 favorable minus 750. So you will get 3750. So expenditure plus volume will be cost, and calendar capacity and efficiency will be what? Volume. I hope, Hina, your query is resolved. Yes, Hina. So now let's revise what we have discussed till now in fixed overhead variance. So when talking about the question, it should be presented in this form. If it is given in the language form also, we have to prepare it in tabular form. First one is fixed overhead cost variance. That is 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 30 to 500, how much should be my overheads? 48,750. But my actual overheads are how much? 50,000. So 1250 adverse. Two parts, expenditure and volume. Expenditure, it is 45,000 minus 50,000 straight away. So 5,000 adverse. कितना खर्चा होना चाहिए था? 45,000. खर्चा हुआ कितना? 50,000. 5,000 adverse. When talking about volume, it talks about units. That how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 30 to 30,000. But how many units we actually manufactured? 30 to 500 units. That is 2,500 units extra we manufactured. We manufactured 2,500 units extra. Since it is units, so we'll be applying the rate per unit. That is budgeted rate per unit. So 45,000 divided by 30,000 units, we have got 1.5 per unit. So this variance will be 3,750 favorable. Now, next is calendar variance. It talks about days. How many days we were supposed to work? 25 days. Actually, we work for how many days? 26 days. 1 day extra we work. So it's a good sign for the company. So that's why this variance will be favorable. So this 1 day, it is days. So we'll be applying the budgeted rate per day. That is 45,000 divided by 25 days. We have got the rate per day. Next is capacity. It talks about what? Hours. That what is my capacity and how many hours I am actually working. So my capacity was to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. 30,000 hours, 25 days. So in 26 days, how many hours? 31,200 hours. But we actually work for how many hours? 33,000 hours in 26 days. That is 1800 hours. हमने 1800 hours we worked extra over and above my capacity. Now herein this is what my hours. So we'll be applying the rate per hour. That is 45,000 divided by 30,000 hours. So we have got the rate per hour, that is 1.5 per hour. So this will be 2,700 favorable. See, again, I repeat, this point is the key. Why this is favorable, why this is favorable, why this is favorable, and why this is adverse. This point is the key in these variances. Again, efficiency, it talks about that how much hours we were supposed to take to manufacture units and how many hours we actually worked to manufacture the same number of units. So as per the target set, one unit should be manufactured in 1 hour. So 32,500 units should be manufactured in 32,500 hours. But to manufacture 32,500 units, we actually took 33,000 hours. 500 hours extra we took. So जो काम 32,500 hours में होना चाहिए था, the work was completed in 33,000 hours. That is 500 hours is what my inefficiency. It's not a good sign for the company. So that's why this variance will be adverse. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? I'm done with fixed overhead first part. I'll be discussing few more questions. So anyone with any doubts or queries? Give me some time. Let me discuss few more concepts, Harsh Mishra. I'll be giving you questions also. Now let's take a situation wherein the days are not given in the question. Let's take a situation wherein days are not given in the question. Will there be any impact on fixed overhead cost variance? Fixed overhead cost variance में days का कोई role ही नहीं था. So there will be no change in fixed overhead cost variance straight away. If the days are not given, the question solution will be 45,000 overheads for how many units? 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 48,750. Minus my actual overheads are 50,000. So no change. This will be 1250 adverse. No change in fixed overhead cost variance. Next, again, there was no role of the number of days in expenditure variance. Again, the answer will be the same. No change. 1 second. If there is any query, let me check. So there will be no change in expenditure variance. So again, it will be same. That is 45,000 minus 50,000. Again, no change, no impact on number of units also. So fixed overhead volume variance will again be same. No change in volume variance. That is, we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units. We manufactured 32,500 units. How many units extra? 2,500 units extra into the rate per unit. That is 45,000 divided by 1.5 per unit. So till volume variance, there will be no change. Now herein, calendar variance will not be calculated, Rabari. So since there are no days given, so we will assume that the number of days are same. So calendar variance we will be calculating or not calculating? Yes, guys. Since the number of days are not given, so we will not be calculating calendar variance. So calendar variance will not be calculated straight away. Fixed overhead, capacity variance. Now, when talking about capacity variance, very simple. Since the number of days are not given, so we will assume that the number of days are same. Since the capacity variance, in capacity variance, the days are not given, so we will assume that the number of days are same. So we can say our capacity was for how many hours? 30,000 hours. We work for how many hours? 33,000 hours. How many hours extra? 3,000 hours extra. Into the rate per hour, 45,000 divided by 30,000 hours, so 1.5 per hour. So this will be 4,500 favorable. Now next is efficiency variance, also no change. 30,000, 32,500 units should be manufactured in how many hours? 32,500 hours. But they actually consumed how many hours? 3,300 hours, 33,000 hours. 500 hours is what? My inefficiency into the rate per. Again, guys, the total will be the same. 4,500 favorable minus 750. This will be 3,750 favorable. So capacity plus efficiency will be volume. Volume plus expenditure will be cost. So if the days are not given, then yes, two figures will be changed. First, there will be two impact on the solution. First one is we will not be calculating the calendar variance. And second thing is that capacity variance, yes, there will be a small change. Very good, Jaya. Yes, you can, or else you can straight away write cost, expenditure, volume, capacity, efficiency. It's up to you. Both the approaches are correct. You can present it in tabular form also, diagrammatic form also. Both the approaches are correct. So I request you guys to copy the solution again. If the days are same, then the information will not be given in the question. So straight away, this is the way to solve the question, Minu. Now, next part, let's say hours are not given in the question. Question में hours available नहीं है. No information is given as regards hour. So first thing is there will be no change in cost variance because it has nothing to do with hours. There will be no change in expenditure variance. Again, it has nothing to do with hours. There will be no change in volume variance because it has nothing to do with hours. Now let's start with the next part. Since the number of days are given, so we will calculate calendar variance. That is, we were supposed to work for 25 days. We work for 26 days. 1 day extra we work. It's a good sign for the company. Into the rate per day is 1800. So this will be 1800 favorable. Since hours are not given, so capacity variance will not be calculated. We can't calculate capacity variance. But yes, efficiency variance will be calculated. Efficiency variance will be calculated using the number of days. See, efficiency variance, if the hours are given, we always calculate efficiency variance using hours. But what if in case hours are not given in the question? What if in case hours are not given in the question? Then we can calculate efficiency variance using the number of days. That is 25 days. We were supposed to manufacture how many units? 30,000 units. So in actually we work for how many days? 26 days. So how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 30,000 units 25 days में है. So 26 days में how many units? 31,200 units. So 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture in 25 days. So in 26 days, how many units we should manufacture? 31,200 units. But the units manufactured is how much? 32,500 units. Very simple guys. 26 दिन में हमें कितने units manufacture करने चाहिए थे? 31,200 units. That is, in 26 days, we were supposed to manufacture 31,200 units. But in these 26 days, we did a fabulous job. Instead of, our target was for to manufacture 31,200 units only. But we manufactured how many units? 32,500 units. That is 1,300 extra units we manufactured. It's a good sign for the company. So that's why this variance will be favorable. 1950 favorable. Again, this is not inefficiency. This is efficiency. Because 26 दिनों में हमें 31,200 units manufacture करने चाहिए थे. But in these 26 days, instead of 31,200 units, we manufactured extra units, that is 32,500. So it means what? My worker worked efficiently. So that's why this variance will be favorable. Again, calendar plus efficiency will be volume. See, 1800 favorable plus 1950 favorable. It will be 3750 favorable. And this, adjusting this will be 1250 adverse. Anyone with any doubts or queries? I request you guys to copy the solution. If the days are same, do you really think that there will be any variance, Meenu? Yes, Meenu? Then you know the answer. So I'm there for you. Don't worry, Meenu. Tanu, again, you are not getting what I want to say. Tanu, if you have mic, then you can please unmute. Do you have mic, Tanu? Yes, Tanu. Okay, admin sir, can you please unmute Tanu? Yes, Tanu, tell me.
सर अगर क्वेश्चन में आर्स गिवन होते तो फिर ये तो एडवर्स आ रहा था, पर अगर अभी इस क्वेश्चन
मेरा
में
आपसे क्वेश्चन है, आप मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे, इससे पहले मैं आपसे कुछ पूछना चाहता हूँ।
यस सर।
ये फेवरेबल क्यों लिखा मैंने?
सर क्योंकि हमने ज्यादा यूनिट प्रोड्यूस किया।
ओके, ये एफिशिएंसी है या इनएफिशिएंसी है?
सर ये एफिशिएंसी है।
क्योंकि हमें 26 डेज में कितने यूनिट्स बनाने चाहिए थे तनु?
सर 31,200।
बट हमने बनाए कितने?
सर 32,500।
मतलब हमने अच्छा किया, राइट?
यस सर।
So that's why it was favorable, right?
यस सर।
Now in the previous question, 1 unit should take 1 hour, right?
यस सर।
जिसमें आवर्स गिवन थे, मैं वो क्वेश्चन की बात कर रहा हूं, that 1 unit should take 1 hour, right?
यस सर।
So 32,500 units कितने में बन जाने चाहिए थे? 32,500 hours में।
यस सर।
बट एक्चुअली वो 32,500 यूनिट्स हमने कितने आवर्स में बनाए?
सर 33,000।
मतलब 500 आवर्स मैंने एक्स्ट्रा लगाए। इट इज एफिशिएंसी और इनएफिशिएंसी?
सर वो तो इनएफिशिएंसी था।
सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस वेरिएंस वाज व्हाट?
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन यही था कि अगर आर्स गिवन होते तो फिर ये सेम
अरे यार,
क्वेश्चन
सपोज
ही।
मैं आवर्स ना कम कर देता एक्चुअल आवर्स, तो वो फेवरेबल भी हो सकता है, एडवर्स भी हो सकता है। In every question, you have to check that whether we have worked efficiently or inefficiency. Suppose the budgeted hours were 30,000 and actual hours were only 29,000, or let's say, let's say it is 31,000 only. So, see, the work was supposed to be completed in 30 to 500 hours, but we completed in 31,000 hours only. So 1,500 hours मेरा क्या आ जाता? एफिशिएंसी आ जाता।
एफिशिएंसी। यस।
कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि आर्स में हमेशा एडवर्स आएगा या फेवरेबल आएगा। सो इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन क्वेश्चन टू क्वेश्चन। समझ में आया?
यस सर।
सपोज मैं इधर लिखता हूं, सपोज राइटिंग इट फॉर योर रेफरेंस ओनली, दैट 30,000 आवर्स and let's say it is 31,000 hours. So what will be my efficiency variance? Can you tell me? What will be my efficiency variance? Waiting for your answer, Tanu.
सर 1,000 आर्स।
हाँ,
सर 1,000 हमने एक्स्ट्रा दिए ना।
आप शांति से सोचिए। एफिशिएंसी इनएफिशिएंसी की बात कर रहा हूं बेटा। एफिशिएंसी, इसके अंदर एफिशिएंसी वेरिएंस। एवरीवन डू पोस्ट योर आंसर दैट हाउ मच विल बी द एफिशिएंसी वेरिएंस इन दिस क्वेश्चन। यस तनु, सो जस्ट राइटिंग दिस फॉर यू। 30,000 यूनिट्स, हाउ मेनी आवर्स तनु?
सर 32।
30,000 units, 30,000
30,000।
hours, right? This was the target given by the company, right?
यस सर।
देखिए बजट गिवन है ना, 30,000 यूनिट्स, 30,000 आवर्स, 1 unit,
1 आवर।
राइट? सो हमने एक्चुअली कितने यूनिट बनाए?
सर 32,500।
बी बिट मोर लाउड, थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए। हाउ मेनी यूनिट्स वी एक्चुअली मैन्युफैक्चर्ड?
सर 32,500।
Okay, so it means the work was supposed to be completed in how many hours?
32,500।
Very good. बट ये 32,500 आवर्स का काम हमने कितने आवर्स में खत्म कर दिया?
31,000।
So it is efficiency or inefficiency, Tanu?
सर एफिशिएंसी।
How many hours? 1,500 hours
यस सर।
into the rate per hour is how much? 45,000 divided by 30,000.
1.5 आवर। 1.5 आवर।
So this will be 2,250. फेवरेबल और एडवर्स?
सर ये फेवरेबल आएगा।
यस, बिकॉज इट इज एफिशिएंसी, राइट?
यस सर।
अभी एकदम क्लियर?
यस सर क्लियर।
क्रिस्टल
थैंक
क्लियर?
यू। यस सर।
थैंक यू सो मच. Very good, everyone. Your answers are correct. Very good, everyone. Very good, everyone. There are only 9 to 10 students who posted the answers. Rest all sleeping or what? Do post your answers if I'm requesting you guys. This is for your better understanding of the chapter and the concepts, guys. Very good, everyone. We have to convert it into monetary term. That's why we have to apply the rate, Hina. Very good, Namrata, Linga. Very good, guys. Very good, Khushi. Anyone else with any doubts? Because see, now I'll be posting a question and I want correct answers from everyone. Very good, Diya Jain. Anyone with any doubts? Whatever it is running in your mind, you can speak to me. But trust me, guys, I want answers from everyone, those who are present in the session. So if you guys have any doubt, if you guys want me to explain again, I am ready to explain again. But I want correct answers from everyone now. Whatever running in your mind, you guys can speak to me. I'm here to address. Still waiting for your queries. I have not received any queries from you. It means you guys are thorough with the concepts. So this is the question for you guys. Do post your answers. Waiting for your answers. Thank you so much, Hina. I'm happy that you are thorough with the concepts. And I'm here just to make the things easy for you and better for you guys. Pooja B, just write down the name of the variance, everyone. So, Ashlesha, your cost variance is correct. Pooja Byalal, cost variance is correct. Tanu, cost variance is correct. Mustafa, cost and expenditure is correct. Meenu, please recheck your calculation, dear. Your answer is incorrect. Shamli, cost and expenditure is correct. Volume, I need to check 1 second. Okay, volume is also correct, Shamli. Very good. Meenu, your cost variance is incorrect. Very good, Shamli. Volume is correct. So, Adil, cost is correct. Expenditure is correct. Linga, cost, your answer is incorrect, Linga. I'm surprised. Edwin sir, Rabari, do you want to speak to me something? I think you raised your hand. Okay, cost and expenditure is correct, Namrata. Very good. Cost and expenditure is correct, Hina. Very good. Volume variance. Volume variance is incorrect, Arun. Okay, so Pooja B, cost, expenditure, and volume all are correct. Very good. Harsh Mishra, expenditure is correct. Cost is correct. Ashlesha, cost and expenditure is correct. Pooja Byalal, volume, it is correct now. Very good, Pooja. All three variances are correct. Very good, guys. Khushigar, cost, expenditure, volume, all three are correct. Very good, guys. Mustafa, please check your calculation is incorrect for volume. Rabari, 7. Okay, cost is correct, Rabari. Miss Meenu, cost is correct. Expenditure is correct. Start with the volume part now. Adil, volume is correct. Very good. Linga, expenditure is correct, but cost is incorrect. Namrata, volume is correct. Hina, volume is correct. Tanu, volume is correct. Meenu, volume is correct, but you have not mentioned it is favorable or adverse. Do mention this, Meenu. Pooja, cost variance is Pooja Byalal cost. Just write down the name. It is, you're talking about calendar, right? For calendar, just write down calendar variance, please. Pooja, read the question carefully. Just write down one answer. Meenu, favorable or unfavorable? Okay, so Adil, very good. Calendar variance is correct. Rabari, expenditure is correct. Gunjan, so cost is correct, expenditure is correct, volume is incorrect, calendar is incorrect. Gunjan, please check. Hina, please check it is adverse or favorable. Hina. Okay, Harsh Mishra, volume is correct, calendar is correct, all the variances are correct. Then why you have written favorable? Hina. Pooja, cost is correct, expenditure is correct, volume is correct. No worries, Hina. Very good. All the answers are correct. Very good, guys. Okay, so Arun Sagar, very good. All the answers are correct. Prajapati, Namrata. Okay, Namrata, all the answers are correct. Very good, Namrata. Meenu, I'm surprised you're not getting the answers. Meenu, please refresh your concepts. Read the question carefully, Meenu. Okay, Pooja Byalal, it is correct. Very good, Pooja. Shamli Sharma, so calendar is correct, volume is correct. I need to check the capacity. So very good, Shamli. Your answer is correct. Very good, Shamli. In fact, 80% students are, I think I can assume that they are thorough with the concept. So very good, Shamli. Tanu Vishwakarma, calendar, it is, just check it is adverse or favorable. Tanu. Again, Gunjan, just check it is adverse or favorable. Arun Sagar, please recheck your capacity variance. It is incorrect. Harsh Mishra, very good. Your answers are correct till now. You are left out with efficiency variance. Meenu, just check it is adverse or favorable. I think still you are confused. Sorry. Sampath, fixed overhead cost variance. It is correct. Calendar, it is incorrect. Sampath. Pooja B, calendar variance. It is correct. Very good, Pooja. Jaya Manochan, calendar, correct. So calendar, cost variance. Everything is correct, but what about this cost variance, Jaya Manochan? Now it is correct. So cost is correct, expenditure is correct, volume is correct, calendar is correct. Efficiency is also, capacity is correct. Efficiency, I need to check. So I think Jaya, all the answers are correct. Very good, Jaya. Capacity variance, it is correct. Very good. 1 second. What's the name? Pooja B. Ashlesha, volume is correct. Capacity, it is incorrect. Khushi Gar, calendar is correct. Very good, Khushi. Capacity is also correct. Very good, Khushi. Miss Meenu, waiting for your answers. Tanu. So calendar variance, now it is correct. I think Tanu. Miss Meenu, waiting for your answers. Okay, let me check Meenu. Capacity is incorrect, Meenu. Please recheck. I do expect correct answers from you. Pooja, it is correct calendar variance. Namrata, capacity, please recheck the calculation. Hina Kumar, capacity, please check that it is adverse or favorable. That number is correct, but check out it is adverse or favorable. Rabari, efficiency, please recheck Your cost is correct, expenditure is correct, volume is correct. First post calendar and capacity, then post efficiency. Rabari, very good. Don't make these mistakes in exams. Hina, Adil, capacity, it is incorrect. Gunjan, capacity, incorrect. Linga, calendar is correct, volume is correct, capacity is incorrect. Harsh Mishra, I need to check. 1 second. Calendar, it is incorrect. Harivansh Kumar. Efficiency and capacity, I think many students are making mistakes. So now it is correct, Mustafa. Very good. Calendar variance is correct. Efficiency variance, I'll check. Just give me a few minutes. So let's start with the solution now. Guys, stop writing now. Time is over now. Let's do pay attention, please. When talking about fixed overhead cost variance, straight away, 3,60,000 are my overheads on how many units? 1,20,000 units. Actual units are 1,24,000. So this should be how much? This should be 3,72,000. However, my actual overheads are 4,50,000. So this will be 78,000 adverse. Expenditure variance. $360 minus $450. $90,000 adverse. Next is volume variance. How many units we were supposed to manufacture? 120 units. Actually, we did a great job and we manufactured how many units? 1,24,000 units. So 4,000 units extra we manufactured. So it's a good sign for the company. Since the units manufactured are extra above our capacity, so 4,000 units into the rate per unit, that is 360 divided by 120. So this will be 12,000 favorable. Meenu, do you have mic? Yes, Meenu, are you using mic? Capacity, it is correct. Calendar, it is correct. Rabari. Okay, please unmute yourself. Please unmute. Yes, Meenu, are you there? No worries, that's okay. Hina. Yes, Meenu.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Fine.
Okay, so see now, this part is clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
So now Miss Meenu will tell us the final answer. Okay, so Meenu, let's start with calendar variance. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so what is calendar variance? Tell me how to write the answer, Meenu.
So 25 days.
How many days we were supposed to present in office? 25 days. How many days we were present?
23.
It means less days, right?
Yes.
By how many days?
2 days.
Very good. And very important, since it is days, so we'll be taking the rate Yes,
12,
Nirmal?
sir, 120.
No. We will be taking the rate what? Per hour, per unit, or per day?
Sir, per day.
Very good. So how much is the rate per day? Tell me.
Sir,
How to
36,000
calculate
upon
the rate per
25.
day? Yes, Meenu.
So here where I am.
No, that's why you are wrong. That's why I told you that please unmute and speak the answer. All your answers were incorrect and I was surprised. So what will be the rate per day, Meenu? Tell me how to calculate the rate per day.
Sir, 36,000
3 lakh
divided by
60,000. 3 lakh
divided
60
by 25 days.
divided by 25. So how much it will be?
Okay, wait. Sir, 14400.
14,400.
14,400.
Don't get nervous. Just stay cool and calm. See, I think I was surprised that you are not being able to solve this. So that's why I told you to speak the solution. So how much it is?
14,400.
14,400 per day.
Yes.
So it's a good sign for the company or bad sign for the company because we were supposed to work for 25 days and we work for 23 days only. So it's a good sign for the company or bad sign for the company?
It's a good sign.
Good.
So 25.
25 days ऑफिस में जाना चाहिए था एम्प्लॉइज 23 days ही आए 2 दिन कम आए so
No,
it's good
no,
or
no,
bad for the
unfavorable,
company?
unfavorable, unfavorable. So
Good
bad,
or bad?
bad.
So that's why
23
this variance will be adverse or favorable?
adverse.
Very good.
Okay.
Now let's start with capacity now, Meenu. How much is my capacity?
Sir, unit is there's one
60,000 hours in how many
uh,
days?
25.
So actual days were how much?
23.
So how much is my capacity in 23 days? 23 days में हमारी capacity कितनी थी मीनू?
55,200.
This was my capacity, right?
Yes.
And how much hours we actually worked?
60,000 is budgeted. So
65,000.
65,000 is actually worked.
Sleeping or what?
No, sir, I'm not.
65,000 hours, right?
Yes.
So how many hours extra we worked above our capacity?
9,800.
Very good. 9,800 hours we worked above our capacity. Since it is hours, so we'll be taking the rate.
Per hour.
Very good. How much is the rate per hour?
60,000 divided
3,60,000.
3,60,000 divided by 60,000, I thought.
So how much it will be?
6.
So this is 58,800.
8,800.
So now my capacity was 55,200, but I worked for 65,000 hours. I worked above my capacity. So this variance will be favorable or adverse?
Everyone.
Huh?
Everyone.
Favorable now? This rate now?
Yes, sir.
So you didn't calculated the efficiency, you calculated the calendar and capacity. So I hope your queries are resolved now. Feeling
Yes,
better?
sir. Yes, sir. Sir,
Chaliye,
actually,
thank you
I
so
have
much.
multiplied by units, so where I got it wrong.
Pardon? Pardon?
Actually, I have 2 divided by 60,000, right? And I have divided it by 1,20,000.
You?
Use this. I don't know.
India is independent since 15th August 1947. Every person has the right to do anything. So that's okay. But don't make mistakes in exams like this, okay?
Okay. Thank
If
you
it
so
is
much.
hours, so we will divide it by per hour. If it is
Yes.
units, we will divide it by per unit. If it is days, we will divide it by per day, okay?
Yes, sir.
To calculate the rate. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Crystal clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So now let's proceed with the efficiency variance now. Again, 1,20,000 units, 60,000 hours. So 1,24,000 units कितने hours में होने चाहिए थे? 62,000 hours. The work was supposed to be completed in 62,000 hours, but we actually consumed how many hours? 65,000 hours. So 3,000 hours extra is my inefficiency into the rate per hour is 6. Into the rate per hour is 6. So this will be 18,000 adverse. So this is the way to solve the question. I'm giving you 10-15 minutes time to copy everything. I'll take a break of 15 minutes. I'll be back after 15 minutes with the concept of variable overhead variances. So in the meanwhile, those who have any doubts or queries, you guys can post your queries. So it's a break for me, not for you guys. So I'll be back after 15 minutes. Edwin sir, आप screen on रखिए. Welcome back, my friends. So I hope you guys are thorough with the concepts, and I hope you guys are feeling much better after discussing this question on fixed overhead. Anyone having any doubts or queries in fixed overhead variances? Yes. Anyone with any doubts or queries? So let's proceed further. So let's proceed further with the next part, that is variable overhead variances. Again, whenever you find a question on variable overheads also, you have to convert the data in the tabular form, that is budget and actual. Let's say my budgeted hours are 30,000 and actual hours are 33,000. Budgeted units is 30,000 and actual units are 32,500. And variable overheads is, let's say, 60,000 and 70,000. This much information is given in the question. Now the point is, if the days are given, you have to ignore the number of days. Days has nothing to do with variable overheads. So very important, guys, if the days are given also, you have to ignore the number of days, because days has nothing to do with the calculation of variable overhead variances. So let's start with variable overhead cost variance. The concept is similar to fixed overhead variance. That is 60,000 are my overheads. For how many units? 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? Minus my actual variable overheads are 70,000. So this is 5,000 adverse. So simple. It's again just the calculation of under or over absorption of overhead, wherein 60,000 hours are my overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? For 32,500 units, 65,000 minus actual variable overheads are 70,000. So this is 5,000 adverse. Now next is variable overhead. Expenditure variance. Now, as I said, fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production. However, variable overhead keeps on changing. So, change as per hours. So here, when talking about expenditure variance, since the variable overheads keeps on changing, so 60,000 are my overheads for how many hours? 30,000 hours. My actual hours are how much? 33,000 hours. इतना overheads होना चाहिए था, and how much are my actual overheads? 70,000. So this is 4,000 adverse. We have to give the impact of the number of hours. So 60,000 overheads for 30,000 hours. So for 33,000 hours, how much should be my overhead? 66,000. Actual overheads are how much? 70,000. So this is 4,000 adverse. Next is variable overhead. Efficiency variance. When talking about the calculation of efficiency variance, it's just the copy paste what we have discussed in fixed overhead. That is 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. So 1 unit, how many hours? 1 hour. So 32,500 units, 32,500 hours. But we actually took how many hours? 33,000 hours. So 500 hours is what? My inefficiency. Into the rate per hour is how much? 60,000 divided by 30,000. That is rupees 2 per hour. So this will be 1,000 adverse. So 4,000 adverse plus 1,000 adverse is 5,000 adverse. So expenditure plus efficiency is cost variance. And this is all what about variable overhead variance, the easiest part of the chapter. So anyone having any doubts in variable overhead variances, you guys can speak to me. Again, expenditure plus efficiency will be cost variance. So there are only 3 variances in variable overhead. Apart from this, if any other information is given as regards days, you have to ignore it. I request you guys to copy the solution. In the meanwhile, those who have any doubts or queries, you guys can post your queries. When talking about the expenditure part, we have to give the impact of the hours. So 60,000 overheads for 30,000 hours. So for 33,000 actual hours, actually we calculate the variable overhead at actual hours minus actual variable overhead. So actual hours में कितने variable overheads होने चाहिए थे और हुए कितने? This is all what about expenditure variance. Ashlesha, if the days are given, you have to ignore the days while calculating variable overhead variances. Vedant Tiwari, I think I have discussed in detail. I think you joined a bit late, right, Vedant? Yes, Vedant. Variable overhead and fixed overhead cost variance will be using units. Arun? Okay, so what's the doubt, Vedant? What you do is, Vedant, just check the recorded session because I have discussed in detail about the capacity variance. Yes, Rabari, I'll be discussing this part also. Just give me a few minutes. Yes, Hina. I request you guys to copy the solution. Yes, Meenu. Give me some time. There was one part which I skipped while discussing fixed overhead variances. What if the actual idle hours are given in the question? This was the same question what we discussed, wherein fixed overhead cost variance was 1250 adverse. Fixed overhead expenditure variance was 5000 adverse. Fixed overhead volume variance was 3750 favorable. Fixed overhead calendar variance was 1800 favorable. Fixed overhead capacity variance was, what was my fixed overhead capacity variance? 1 second. It was 2700 favorable. And my efficiency variance we calculated was 750 adverse. Now see guys, when talking about idle time variance, if idle hours are given, we'll write idle time variance. And idle time variance will be how much? 200 hours into my rate per hour is how much? 45,000 divided by 30,000, that is 1.5 per hour. So this is 300 adverse. Now see, there is, if the idle hours are given, there will be an additional variance, that is idle time variance. So idle time variance will be how much? 200 hours is my idle time. So 200 hours into the rate 1.5 per hour. Now, when talking about the efficiency variance, we calculated an inefficiency of 500 hours. That is, the work was supposed to be completed in 30 to 500 hours, but we actually consumed 33,000 hours. So 500 hours was my inefficiency. Of this 500, 200 is my idle time. So my efficiency will be how much? Only balance hours, that is 300 hours into 1.5 per hour. So this will be 450 adverse. So in the previous question, wherein my efficiency was how much? Inefficiency was for 500 hours. No, so it means what? 500 hours हमने ज़्यादा लगा दिए. Of this 500 hours, 200 hours is what? My idle hours. So balance we are left out with an inefficiency of how many hours? Only 300 hours. So this is all what about the concept of idle time variance. I request you guys to copy this additional point. If idle hours are given, then how to deal with idle time variance in the previous question. Generally, the idle hours will be given only for the fixed overheads, Rabari. Hina, practical question number 13th and 14th, I have just checked. It's easy. So just try to solve it again. If not, then just write a mail to cma-inter@icai.in addressing my name. I'll just post the final solution in my format. Don't worry, Hina. See, here in 500 hours was my inefficiency. So now the 500 hours will be divided in two parts. The 200 is my idle hours, so my inefficiency will be for 300 hours only. Just try to solve it. It's easy. I have discussed in one of my previous sessions also. Actually, it's not the distribution. Ultimately, yes, practically we are doing so. See, 500 hours extra we took to complete the task. Of this 500 hours, 200 hours is my idle time and 300 hours is my inefficiency. Always we have to calculate the efficiency variance, Meenu. The same question, in fact, the same question. I'm talking about Linga. Aditya, this is the cost variance, 1250, 5000 is expenditure, 3750 is volume. So these are the variances what we have calculated till now in the previous question. In fact, this question only, Aditya. See, then my efficiency will be better because see, the time lost due to idle hours will be very adverse, but efficiency, it will be favorable only. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? Even I do think so, Mustafa. Just try to solve Hina question number 14. Mustafa also said that I think with the help of cost variance only we will get the answer. Anyways, I don't want to say anything. Just try to solve the question on your own once again. If not, then I'm there. Don't worry. So now we are done with this chapter. The point in fixed and variable overhead is read the question carefully. Sometimes the questions are given in paragraph form. So try to convert the problem into this table, that is budget and actual. Once this table is ready, if you are thorough with the concepts, you can easily calculate the variances. So we are done with the conceptual part and everything related to this chapter. So let's summarize what we have discussed till now. Just do pay attention. I'm just giving you the summary of the chapter, what we have discussed till now. So when talking about standard costing or variance analysis, it has nothing to do with cost calculation. In this chapter, we'll be calculating all the variances. So first thing what we started was with material variances, wherein we used to calculate the material, all the material variances. So whenever you find a question on material variance, first check the output. If the output is not given, assume that the output is same. If it is given, just check if it is same, we can start with the solution. But if it is not same, we have to make it comparable. So we have to prepare revised standard. So the first thing what we'll be calculating is material cost variance, that is standard quantity into standard price minus actual quantity into actual price. Thereafter, two part, that is price and usage. When talking about price, it is standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. And when talking about usage, it is standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. When talking about usage, again, we can divide it in two parts, that is mix and yield. When talking about mix, it is standard mix minus actual quantity into standard price. And yield, I have discussed some different way, but yes, you can refer the formula also, it's up to you. But the concepts what I have discussed is much better than whatever the formulas that are given. So it is standard quantity minus standard mix into standard price. Further, material mix and yield will be usage. Usage plus price will be cost. So this is, you can verify the answers also, and you can cross tally the answers also. I repeat again, material mix plus material yield will be usage, and usage plus price will be my cost variance. This is all what about material, what we discussed. Thereafter, we discuss labor. Again, in the labor also, just like material, the basis of comparison is output. So if the output is not same, prepare revised standard, and then we will start with labor cost variance, that is standard hours into standard rate minus actual hours into actual rate. When talking about the next part, just like material price, we'll be calculating labor rate variance, that is standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours. Thereafter, just like material usage, we'll be calculating labor time or efficiency variance, wherein it is standard hours minus actual hours into standard rate. Thereafter, just like material mix, we'll be calculating labor mix variance also, that is standard mix minus actual hours into standard rate. And then yield, again, standard hours minus standard mix into standard rate. Very important, just like material, it is mix plus yield will be time, and time plus rate will be cost. So this is all what about labor variances. Thereafter, we started with fixed overhead variances. See, unlike in material and labor, if the figure is negative, it was adverse, and if the figure is positive, it was favorable. But in fixed overhead, we have discussed the concept that why it is favorable, why it is adverse. So there is no thumb rule that the figure will be minus or plus. You have to take it as adverse or favorable. So apply the concept when talking about fixed overhead cost variance. It talks about under or over absorption of overheads. Thereafter, fixed overhead expenditure variance, that is budgeted fixed overhead minus actual fixed overheads. When talking about volume variance, we compare the number of units, that how many units we were supposed to manufacture, how many units we actually manufactured, into the rate per unit. So if the units manufactured are more than what we expected, it is favorable. And if the units manufactured are less than the budget, it will be adverse. When talking about calendar also, again, we do compare the days. So if the days worked are more than budget, it is favorable. And if the days worked are less than budget, it is adverse. We'll be applying the rate per day to the number of the days, that is the difference. Thereafter, in the capacity variance, very important, we have to give the impact of the number of days also in hours. So again, if we are working above our budgeted capacity, the variance will be favorable. And if we are working less than our budgeted capacity, this variance will be adverse. Thereafter, efficiency variance, if we are working efficiently, it is favorable. And if we are working inefficiently, it will be adverse. Further fixed overhead calendar, capacity and efficiency, the total will be volume, and volume plus expenditure, it will be cost. And last, that is variable overhead, wherein there are only three variances, that is cost, expenditure and efficiency. Expenditure plus efficiency will be the cost variance. So this is all what about the summary of this chapter. This is what we have discussed till now in this chapter. The chapter is very easy, very simple. The point is, you have to make it a habit to memorize the concepts rather than memorizing the formulas. The recorded session is available over YouTube, so you can recheck the session. And I think I have covered each and every point in detail and in depth. So I think I'm damn sure that there will be no queries, and I think no points left out in this chapter. Still, if you have any doubts or queries, again, you can post your queries. You can write a mail to ICAI, that is CMA-inter@icai.in. I'm here to address all your queries. Mustafa, I'll recheck your mail also. I'll recheck your mail also. Don't worry, Mustafa. So, guys, try to solve all the question of study material first. Start with all the illustration, then practical problems, and then very important, past practice manual. Again, I'm repeating, past practice manual. You will find variety of questions and very good questions in the past practice manual. So, a good book to practice all the sums. So you can simply type over Google CA Inter Past Practice Manual. You will get the link and you can easily download it from the portal. Apart from practice manual, you can refer MTPs, RTPs, and examination-based question. If you are thorough with the concepts and if you have practiced study material properly, you'll be able to solve any MTP, RTP questions. But yes, before exams, at least try to solve these questions 2 to 3 times for better understanding of the concepts and to improve speed also, so that you can complete the paper on time. So enough of discussion on this chapter. Thank you so much, guys, for your time and patience and for active participation in the session. I appreciate the efforts that you guys are putting up during the session. I mean, many students are trying to solve the questions on their own. They are posting the answers while I'm writing the solution. I appreciate your efforts. And I'm very happy that you guys are, understanding the concepts, what I'm teaching. So thank you so much, guys, for paying attention and for interacting in the class. So it gives the energy. It gives that, it keeps the session more interesting for me also if the students participate. So thank you so much, guys. Whatever it is, you can write a mail to ICAI. I'll be starting with the next chapter. Again, a very important chapter, marginal costing. Herein, in marginal costing also, students are learning formula. But trust me, guys, I will not be discussing any formulas in marginal costing also. And apart from this, I'll be asking variety of questions in the live session to test that whether you are thorough with the concepts or not. So those who are watching over YouTube also, try to join via Zoom live session, whatever it is. You can interact with me either via message or you can directly speak to me. So whatever it is, make sure there are 4 sessions on marginal costing. So everyone should be regular and punctual for better understanding of the chapter. And in the meanwhile, you have days time, complete all your questions from study material and past practice manual at least for better understanding of standard costing. So thank you so much, guys. God bless you. Let me check if there are any queries. Yes, marginal costing also I'll be taking. Don't worry. Admin sir, a Zoom link will be posted. Don't worry. Thank you so much, Ashlesha. You can download it from the portal, Aditya. CMA-inter@ICAI.in. Ashlesha, CMA-inter@ICAI.in. I'll be posting the notes. Don't worry. That's okay, Tanu. Over a period of time, when you will practice the sums, you will be thorough with the concepts and you will be able to solve the question easily. Don't worry. The practice is the key, Tanu. Well, surely, Meenu. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, sir. Manish, sir, thank you. I'm done. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.